over. Hey, Andy and Jamie, what's going on today?
Hey, Scott. Thank you very much, sir. Jamie, how are you?
I'm well, Andy. I'm well. What a crazy market we got. What a crazy market we will have moving forward. But
Pretty nice 3-day move, huh?
it is, it is.
Yeah. Yes. And hey, thanks. We got a good crowd in here today. Thanks everybody for coming in and joining us. This is the Trading Studio. My name is Andy, and that's Jamie, my sidekick. And we are going to walk you through some interesting topics today. I think you guys will like it. But before we do, let's cover the disclaimer real quick. Once again, guys, we are content publishers here. This is for educational purposes only. We'll be talking about stocks and possible trades that can be placed, but we don't want you to be construed as investment advice. Okay, that's not our job here. Even though Jamie and I were both licensed at one time, we are no longer licensed. So if you're looking for that type of advice, you want to seek out somebody that is carrying that Series 7 and 63, whatever they were, license. That would be a stockbroker, registered advisor, anybody, like I said, that can work in that capacity with a license. All right, let's talk a little bit about our 5-star support, education, and training here. Let's see, we have some new people in here today. I'm going to show you how these alerts, how you can create some really cool top lists and alerts. But we do know when you first take it out of the package, in other words, when you first download the software, it can be a little overwhelming to some people because it's very powerful. There's a lot of things it can do. But it can be as basic also as you want it to be. I mean, there's basically channels, we call them, which are just layouts with already pre-built filters, alerts and scans in there for you to use. And then gradually, move forward with the product. And we're here to help you. And we provide lots of resources. Okay, one of them is the Traders Room there. I'm sure most of you have probably already been in there. That's a great hangout. Barry is a great trader. He's a great moderator, and he can also help you. Okay, a lot of people think that he is too busy in there and he doesn't have time to help me. Trust me, after the first couple of hours, he is there and will help you. And it's really cool because he's got the desktop sharing going, so he can kind of give you a little presentation and answer your question for you there. So he is always encouraging us to please send people in there if they have any questions. And then we have these webinars every Monday through Thursday at 5 Eastern. And it's usually myself, Jamie, or Steve kind of sharing those responsibilities, paired up in twos. But Wednesdays, we do give you Dan Merkin, our CEO, and Brad Williams, our CTO. And it's a great place to come and hang out to find the new little gadgets and bells and whistles that are coming around the corner. And it's also a great Q&A webinar as well. And the support webinar, I'm going to talk a little bit. Scott will have a slide for this to explain it more later. But what we have now is a live stream on YouTube every day, Monday through Friday at 12. We're starting to see more and more people come in there. Yeah, it's a great format. Come in there if you have any questions. We're actually there for you, not to talk about the market. We want to help you with the software. So please, we encourage you to get in there and ask questions about the software. All right, just real quickly, we do have a simulated trader now, okay? Paper trader, if you want to call it that. It's on a really cool interface. Great way for you, especially if you're a new trader, to paper trade on, to test your strategies, your portfolio management skills. You do not need to be with a broker. No broker connection required. Do not need to fund an account. Everything is self-contained right here in our Brokerage Plus interface. It's really cool, and please get in there and check it out. And really, if you are new to trading, we encourage people to do this for months because trading is it's a learning curve, and there's no better way to do it than paper trading, not racking up any losses during that curve. All right, here's the agenda for today. and it looks like Upinder's having a hard time asking if we're on. So maybe Jamie, if you can just tell him everything. It looks like everything's fine. You can hear me, right, Jamie?
Yeah, sure will.
Okay, yeah. He may need to log back in. All right, market recap. We're going to talk about that. Interesting. Nice 3-day move in the market. Where are we going to go from here? Let's take a look. Holly recap. Couple of good trades in there today. Jamie's going to take it over and go over the Holly recap. Run one really good one. And thank you, Mike C. Appreciate it. Yes, Robert asked, is the simulator real time? It is real time. It's real time data. So it's great, man. It works. It's really sweet. Not only that, paper traders, when I started trading 20 years ago, if you did have one, if you're lucky to have one, when you hit buy or sell, you automatically got the price that it was trading at. Our paper trader is more kind of in reality with the kind of feels you would get in real markets. So in other words, it takes a look at the volatility, the volume, and the spread, and all that, and it gives you a realistic feel. So it's pretty cool. All right, we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to build an alert. Okay, so we're going to look for stocks that have been really weak. A lot of you guys saw this on the Armageddon top list, and now there's been a big bounce, and stocks have maybe bouncing after a big run up into the 20-period moving average, much like the market's doing. Okay, we want to prepare ourselves. Okay, it's best to, it's when you're trading, doesn't hurt to be prepared. Come in the next day. Let's take a look at, if the market does get tired after a 3-day run, and it's very likely to, let's look for some opportunities to the short side. And then we're going to revisit this Armageddon top list. I didn't get a chance. Sorry, I missed you guys last week for some reason. Yeah, I could not get my go-to meeting to launch, and hadn't had a problem since. So for whatever reason, it did not like this webinar last week. All right, so let's back out and let's talk a little bit about the market. We like to look at the SPYs here because it is a nice grouping of 500 stocks. And let's zoom in a little bit. First of all, let's see what we're looking at. Obviously, we see what's happened here. We have a nice bounce off lows. Okay, got through the fast line, the 10-period moving average. And let me pull up my Epic pen real quick, so I can kind of trace some things out for you. And there she is. All right. So here we are, right? Nice little bounce off these lows, got through the fast line right there. What we have sitting right here above is the 20-period moving average. And this has been an incredible bounce off the lows, okay? You look here in the SPY, we see a low of, why am I not getting a 218.26, and now today we closed at 262. So wow, what a bounce! Almost a 50-point move there in the SPYs. That's huge. Now let's take a look to see. We know the 20 is kind of leaning, right above us here, and should provide some sort of resistance moving forward. Let's go back in time here and see what we're dealing with. Now we got through, not sure what that was, but let's just draw this line married up with today's close. Interesting. Look at this level over here. A lot of people will say that this is a serious pivot level. Look at this area right here. Let me get my cursor. I don't like that color. I have to change that, but there you go. There you go. There you go. Got a lot of congestions right here. So a pretty big pivot level we closed at today. And on top of that, we do have a very fast moving 20-period moving average coming down. There's a good chance, well, a good chance. I would almost say it's we are going to hit that 20-period tomorrow, just because it's going to move more as the market opens, just adjusting for a new day. So that's going to be a critical level. So close right at some major, a pivot level right here in the SPYs. So we're going to have to see what that brings for tomorrow. Does it mean we can't get through it? I mean, this has been an impressive bounce. We have seen bounces like this in the past, not after over the last, obviously over the last 12 years. This is the biggest market decline that we've seen. I think up until this point, it's only been like 10%. Now all of a sudden you're looking at, I'm not sure what the final tally was, but I'd have to say it was probably around 35 to 37%. I don't know, but nonetheless, we have not seen anything like this in the last 10 years. So you got to keep that in the back of your mind, okay? Because remember, this is people's attitudes. It is. It's people's traders' emotions that you're looking at here. And there's a lot of people that spent a lot of pain that were long during this downturn, okay? And trust me, I know what they're feeling. They're finally getting this bounce. A lot of them are thinking, gosh, I hope I can get a little bit more so I can get out of this. I can't stomach that again. You have a lot of people that bought the lows down here, okay? They're looking for maybe a, quick scalp. So the point I'm making, when these things turn, and I'll have a lot more to say about this when I talk about that new alert we're going to build, but definitely an area you got to keep out with right here, because we've had a huge move and off a bear market, and this could resume its lower at any time, and you got to be prepared for it, because they can come quick and nasty. All right, Jamie, I'm not going to take real quick. I guess I will take a real good quick look at the Qs, which are right at their 20-period moving average. You can see they closed right at it. All right, we'll see what happens there. Take a look at the Dow, which I don't look at very much. Same thing, looks very similar to the SPYs. IWM, which was kind of leading earlier, this was showing strength about 3 days ago, getting through its fast line. Still showing some nice strength, but still well below its 20-period moving average as well. So, Jamie, anything you want to add? It's a nice bounce, but I think you got to be on your toes coming up.
Yeah, it's funny because was it the Wall Street Journal circulating the article that says, the new bull market has begun? And everybody's like, what? We've had 3 up days, but as you just pointed out, things are not over by a long shot. Whether we reclaim that area and march higher, or whether we turn and burn back down again, is, flip a coin at this point in time. We'll all find out sooner than later. I mean, tomorrow's Friday. Fridays are kind of weird in general. It's the end of the week, but everybody's going to find out next week which way we're headed. It's just time will tell. Time will tell. One thing for certain, the volatility is there. So for traders, it's a really great opportunity. Of course, the landscape's a little bit more treacherous, but opportunity abounds as long as you're practicing good risk management.
Sure. And I wanted to go back to the end of 2018 to just kind of show you. Of course, we did have a much faster fall, okay, and the SPYs. Honestly, I would love to see a V-shaped, bottom and come back really quick. But usually these times, these moves like this takes time, very much like you saw at the end of 2018, where a lot of people thought we bounced right, bottom right there, bounced up here again, boom, and then finally that got pretty ugly. That was a pretty big drop there in 2018. So, but nothing like we've seen here, that's for sure. So let me go real quick. Yeah, this has been the mother of all moves we've seen in the last month before the nice 3-day bounce we've had here. All right, Jamie. Well, if you want to take it over, that's all I have to say about the overall market. If you want to take it over and take a look at Holly real quick.
Yeah, no worries. And it's going to be pretty short and sweet with Holly, because as we can see, and you can see my screen now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
So
sure can.
over here, looking at the, I tell you what, let me just give it one more. There we go. Okay. Over here at the channel bar, Holly 1.0 was completely silent, sat on the sidelines today with 0 trades. 2.0 spit out 2 signals, down a smidge, based on 100 shares per trade, down about $60. And Neo kicking out 4 signals and based on 100 shares per trade, up about $90. So we could pretty much just call this a wash or flat. especially when you tack in a little bit of slippage and commission. But the blotter looked a little bit different during the regular session. Typically what we do here is talk about how we could have extrapolated or extracted, I should say, some of the spread that usually is present between conservative profit and moderate profit. Now, sorting by moderate, you can see here, we had a couple of stop hits today and a couple of losers on profit save. But during the regular session, while there is a small spread on RWT at the close, meaning Holly pulled the plug early on the RWT trade and lost $5 based on a $100 risk. If you would have held it till the end of the day, you'd be up $38. So not a really anything to write home about as far as that spread goes. But if we focus on the intraday here, there was some nice profit potential in the RWT before it rolled over. So here we got the signal from Holly corresponding with the little blue box over here, $5.90. Goes sideways for the following 15 minutes. Of course, the shaded area is coinciding with her time spent in the trade in conservative mode. Basically got bored, pulled the plug, but we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, a little 1 hour consolidation period after the signal. And of course, depending on whether you're a candle body person, if you play strictly by the rules, we do have to include that wick on that wide range opening bar there. But nonetheless, we get statistical probability from Holly here. Volume was raging pretty good in Redwood today. Let's see what it finished at. Yeah, it finished with a relative volume of 8.7. So this is what I like to call an auxiliary pattern on top of the AI signal. Didn't just jump up and boogie, but took its time, went sideways for about an hour. About an hour and 15 after the signal, we creep up here, we break that opening range, and boom, that's where you got the most of the move, okay? So from 590 all the way up to $8.31. So over almost a 2.5 point move intraday, but if you didn't take the cookies while the plate was coming around, folded back over, ended up at the close just up slightly. And there were a lot of the stocks that did that today. You know, we were motoring along nice and fine. Market threw a few wiggles at us towards the end of the day today, and then of course we finished up here close to highs. But a lot of stocks exhibited this pattern today where they peaked out and you had nice gains on the long side, but then they rolled over. And of course we can see the 10 period here. After we got that close on this candle here under the 10 period is when it eked on down and pretty much gave back most of what it was up today. So while, you know, not strong numbers going into the close, all the opportunity was intraday, and that's really about it for Holly today. You know, once again, just a side note here, when we have market conditions that, you know, we've recently seen, it's a lot harder for statistical probability to surface, or what we would call the emergence of alpha, right? It's just harder to find while we've been coming straight down. It's harder for the AI to catch up and make sense of things during a market as we have here. So what about the AI? How's it going to perform moving forward? Well, it's kind of hit and miss right now. You know, the other day we had some really good signals. Today it was kind of, you know, just back and forth. But until we get a little bit of sideways action, you know, or maybe a little consolidation on the overall market, it's going to be tricky. All right. So, you know, more or less using, you know, there's lots of different ways we can use the AI, but you just have to look at it as a more advanced alert window, just like any of your other alert windows. It's going to produce some opportunity. Now, whether that opportunity sticks around during the session based on the crazy volatility that we have, you got to be a lot more nimble in a market environment such as this. So don't want to spend too much time waxing on Holly because it is what it is, and that's about it for the Holly recap today.
All right, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it.
Let me kick it back over to you.
And I will point out one more, guys. Now this one did get stopped out, unfortunately, barely. You can see it here. There was a signal to buy. Now this was a very relative volume 20. Looks like it may have been some sort of biotech apparatus or something like that. But, you know, and technically, yes, we bought it and there was a stop, okay? But I want to say you know, when I saw that stop out, I'm going, oh man, you can't have a 25-cent stop on something this volatile. You know, I'm telling myself that. And when you see that, keep an eye on these, because the algorithm, it's the one that kind of spits out these stop losses. And sometimes if you look at a chart and you see there's a lot of volatility, especially in something like this, doing big volume biotech, you know, just you might want to tell yourself, you know, hey, this looks good. It's gapping up, pro gap. In other words, you had a go, pause, go, and man, huge volume, everything looked good, and unfortunately, you know, there was a stop. And of course, if I pull it out here and you see aggressive on this thing, you're going to see there was a lot more to be made. So I'm not saying you should have stuck with it, bought it, and stayed at and not stop out. I'll never tell you not to adhere to your stops. So maybe keep it up, keep watching these things, because they're good for all day moves. And sometimes when you see these things, you get a second chance. You know, especially when, you know, it breaks that channel breakout right there from the opening range breakout. Man, was just a beauty.
And
And
Andy,
Andres,
I did
go
kind
ahead.
of skip over the GPMT was good in the same capacity as the Redwood, because that little thing boogied about almost 3 points from an entry signal of, what was it, 689, and it topped out
Oh yeah.
941. So forgot to mention that one as well.
Yep.
Thanks for the heads up, Mike.
Oh yeah. There was definitely some nice alpha in that thing. And Andres, I don't think Jamie, did you get to explain the difference between the risk parameters, the moderate, aggressive?
You know, I missed that question, Andy. I did not have
No,
my.
it was my fault for not telling you. It's not your job to keep an eye on those question box. But anyway, what it is, conservative. Okay, conservative profit is going to calculate the profit until Holly gets out for any reason. Okay, so anytime she gets out for profit save, for whatever the reason is, it stops tallying the profit. Moderate will continue calculating it. Moderate profit will continue calculating it until the end of the day, unless there's a stop hit. If a stop hits, you can see right here on these two, they both stopped at $100. And they stop calculating. Okay, so they do adhere to stops. Aggressive does not adhere to stops. In other words, that takes it from the moment you get an alert all the way to the close of the day. So that's the way that works. All right. Now, so let's take a look, guys. This is going to be a fun little experiment here. We talk about getting prepared for tomorrow. Let me move this right here. We'll take this off right quick so we can see. All right, so here are the spiders. Okay, we've been in an ugly, ugly bear market for the last month. Fastest bear market ever. It's been nasty. Well, since that time, we've had a very nice bounce. I'm not going to calculate the percentage, but you can basically see it and do it yourself there. But anyway, we've had a nice 3-day move in the spiders, and we're coming up to our 20-period moving average. We did get through the 10-period, which is good. But my thinking is like I explained to you earlier, this is a candlestick chart of human emotions. And there are a lot of people that were long this market for a very long time, and they felt a lot of pain, okay, in this downturn. Okay, so what happens is now they're getting a nice little bounce. Their emotion is turned, trust me, not all of it is turned to hope and things will be fine. A lot of people out there are saying, wow, this could get ugly again. They're looking at the news, they're hearing all about this coronavirus, the $2 trillion, you know, basically printing money that we're passing around, and people are just a little nervous. So a lot of people are on pins and needles, and they're going to be the first ones when you get a turn in the market where they're going to be bailing quick. And so that's where you can get these nasty down moves. They can happen pretty quick. So you need to be prepared. And so what we're going to do today is let's build an alert to take advantage of stocks that had a big move off the bottom, but are just under their 20-period moving average. All right, so let's just do that. We're going to build it right now. Okay, we're going to go to new, and we're going to build an alert window. and we're going to start from scratch. All right. I'm sorry, we are not. We're going to build a top list so we can kind of scan and get ideas and set price alerts. So we're going to do it. This would work better in a top list. We're going to double click here to start from scratch. Okay, in a top list, there are no alerts. It's only parameters. Okay, so we're just going to build parameters that's going to display a list of stocks for us with opportunity to possibly short. First thing I'm going to do is put a price range in there. I only want stocks over $5, and let's just go ahead and cap it out around 200. Average daily volume. I like stocks that are kind of liquid, so we're going to at least do 500,000 shares a day on average over the last 3 months. Relative volume, I don't care about that. It's not a whole lot of things I put in a top list because I'm going to show you the columns are what's very powerful when it comes to a top list. But here's what I want to do, okay? This change from 20-day SMA. I want it below the 20-day SMA, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 0 here in max. So that means it cannot be above the 20-day SMA. And I'm also going to put, now this is going to seem like it's, a lot of people may just put 1% or 2%, but I'm going to give myself enough. I want to get lots of data. Okay, so I'm going to actually make it like 10%. So I'm going to find stocks that are maybe approaching it, maybe 10% away. 10% sounds like a lot, but when you talk about the swings we've had in the market, in these stocks, some of them lost 80–90% of their value on that downturn, and they've bounced already 50% right now. So 10% is not that far away from some of these 20 periods. All right, so that's all we're going to do. Okay, now we're going to add some columns. Remember how I told you the power is in these columns here, so you can kind of really scan. We're going to put price. We want to see the change from the close. Let's take a look at relative volume so we can see how much relative volume is in there today. We want to see change from the 20-day. Definitely want to see that, how close it is to that 20-day moving average. We want to see, let's go ahead and just do a position in years of range as well. And I think, let's see, that's probably about it. Oh, I want to do change in 20 days as well. Let's do change in 5 days. And now let's do change in 5 days. That's fine. We want to see how much this will let us know how much it's bounced in the last 5 days when we're looking at this. All right, so let's just click OK. We'll give this a name. We'll call it Big Bounce. Big Bounce Short. All right. So we've just created this nice little top list, and we can spread it out a little bit. Get this over here. Volume change in 20 days. Wait, did I do something wrong here? Hold on. Did I use the right filter? Change from 20-day SMA. Why am I getting numbers like this when I got change from 20-day SMA? Ah, I know what I did. Never mind, my bad. I got to put -10.
There you go.
There you go. So right here needs to be -10. Ah, see, you catch yourself when you start looking at these. So now we know this is below. We can always click on our show me button. I should have done this. The price is no more than 10% below the 20-day moving average. There you go. So we have it now. Perfect. Now it's looking better. All right, so let's just take a look at some of these charts, okay? Just by looking at these columns, you can see how powerful this can be. Okay, we can look at Jets, and we can see over the last 5 days, this thing has gone up 32%. All right, let's click on it. And this, of course, is an ETF. We can eliminate ETFs if we want to. But right now, what I want to do is zoom through and see charts. This is an investment group here right there. It's kind of low volume. I'd probably leave that one alone, but you can see it's working perfectly. We've had a big dip and came up and bounced and fell down right below that 20-period moving average. That's actually the kind of stuff we want to see. Now I have this sorted by relative volume right now. I can always sort it by change from 20-day SMA. So these would be lower, and then we could go down if we wanted to. Let me show you, and we could see stocks. Let me do it the other way. Now we can see stocks that are really hugging their 20-period SMA. See, that's a beauty right there. Look at that. You've had a stock that, of course, this once again, it's an ETF. So I'd probably eliminate the ETFs. Let's just go ahead and do that right now. Although some people may like trading ETFs, so I'm not going to do it. You guys can do it. Let me show you a little hack if you do want to do it. You can just go to this configuration window. I'm going to go ahead and do it for now. You don't have to do this if you like trading ETFs, but earnings per share, you can add filter, and what you want to do is put 0.01 in the minimum. And don't worry, I will be sharing this, and a negative 0.01 in the max. So now we eliminated all those ETFs. Okay, there's you have one right there that shot through this morning, came back down, it's right below it. CCJ, that one's still far. Boeing, now a moment of truth here. What do you say, Jamie, when you're full disclosure? Full disclosure, that's right. I am short. I did short BA today. Okay, small size. Okay, I'm not crazy if this market wants to continue to run. Okay, but I love this right here. It fell all the way down below 100, got as low in the 90s. Okay, and it's basically had a 100% move, over 100% move in 5 days. Okay, I took a little short position on it today, pretty much right here at 180. So full disclosure there. Maybe you want to keep an eye on tomorrow if it does kind of peter out right here and starts to roll over. And the way a lot of people could do this, if you don't want to like take a position like I did today, small position. Once again, anytime I'm trading in this market, I'm doing it sometimes 1/5, 1/6 of my normal size because it's so volatile. IT. That's kind of had one big move today. I'd rather find things that had like 3 or 4 days of move like this BA. A little bit. I'd rather find ones a little bit closer. Thought I'd fix that. There we go. See, there's a good one right there. You've had several days of move, and today, even though the market was very strong, a little spinning top right here above the 200-day moving average. This is one where I would put an alert, maybe right here at today's low. Just create a price alert. Boom. So now you'll be notified. I'll be notified tomorrow if this triggers. Maybe if the market's rolling over, maybe I'll take a shot on something like that. There's another one. Same thing. It's coming here, put a little price alert, so you'll be notified. This is what you call being prepared for tomorrow. If things don't work out, let's say we try to, gap up a little bit, then all of a sudden the sellers come on, everything starts getting hammered, you'll have these alerts firing off for you and pointing you toward the possible opportunity. British Petroleum oil has been kind of weak. Of course, that's in ADR, so you might want to stay away from that. But anyway, this is a great little alert, guys. I'm going to share it with you, and so you guys can take this. You'll have access to it, and you can make it part of your. I'm trying to see if I have one because there's another one that I shorted today. One other one, just full disclosure, and that's Zillow. Okay, that one's right at this is actually a little above, that's why it's not in here. Okay, but if you had this running tomorrow, when it opened up and this drops down below, it will come in here for you. So this is something you can run in the morning as well as the market opens up and see the ones right below the right below that. Well, let me go ahead and share this with you. and I'll drop it into the chat panel. Okay, so your chat panel of your GoToWebinar interface, I'm going to call it Big Bounce. I'm just going to put BB short. And there is the cloud link. So any of you guys who are in here for the first time, I'm able to share this cloud link, and they can pull up the cloud code there and immediately have access to this alert. It's always good to be prepared, guys. And you know, if we do have a pullback, let's say the morning opens up and the SPYs, you know, run up against this 20-period moving average and quickly reverse, you want to be prepared. All right. Now, I introduced this a few weeks ago, guys, and this is what's called, I call it my Armageddon. These are stocks that have to be down at least 30%. Okay, it's just a simple top list. Once again, top list can be great for scanning tool. You can see here, all it's in it is price needs to be above $4. The reason this is $4 and not $5 is because a lot of times when these things are getting beat up in this market, they will drive these stocks down below $4 to shake out everybody who have stops. A lot of people don't like to own stocks under $5. So that's why I made this at $4. And that's all it is. And average volume's the same. And then look at here, change in 20 days, they have to be down 30%. There's still a lot of stocks in here that are down 30%. Well, actually, this one, I got this on history right now because I wanted to show you can see this is going back to 319 when I introduced this around this time too. So I'm looking at the SPYs here. I'm not going to take the very, very low because obviously any stock that you probably bought during that time had a nice bounce in it. So I went back to this day right here, which is 319. Kind of around the same time I started putting this together. It may have been a little bit earlier. And just to show you some ideas that I have, and I'll show you a couple of trades, you know, that I made you know, no one likes for you to catch a falling knife, but in times where panic and blood is in the street and everybody's panicking, sometimes there's some great opportunity. And the way I look at it, I'll look at the first example here is play. This is Dave & Buster's. You can see this is a company that's been around forever, okay, for a very long time. And I can scroll back here and show you it's been over $60 a few years ago. Very, you know, solid company, good balance sheet, makes money, but it got caught up in this, you know, coronavirus Armageddon. Thing fell from $47 all the way down below $5, okay? So this is when I like to catch falling knives. It's because the risk reward is so much in your favor. And I remember telling one of my friends, it's like, you know, I don't think Dave & Buster's are going to go out of business. If it is, Armageddon is really here. If you start losing all the restaurant, I mean, it's going to be, I'm worried a lot less than this small position I'm going to take. I'm going to be worried a lot more about, you know, our world versus a small position I'm going to take. So you can take like 1/10 of a normal position. Say you normally trade Dave & Buster's with 1,000 shares, okay? And you bought 100 shares at $5. And you can give it, you know, down to $4. Okay, you can give it down to $4 or even, you know, $3.50. You know, you're gonna risk losing $100 to $150 to possibly make, you know, $1,500, $2,000 on 100 shares. And I can show you example in here of where, you know, a very, very small position would have made you so much money in a lot of these trades. Other one I bought was Chef. It didn't have quite the move that Dave & Buster did, but not bad at all, you know. And now, I'm going to be honest with you. I stayed in these things for a couple of days. I had some nice profits. I just got out. I didn't kill it, but you know, definitely made, you know, some you know, decent money off those. As far, I should say, decent money as far as risk reward goes. I mean, you're going to lose a buck and you make 4 or 5 on the upside, 6, 7, whatever it is. That's a great risk reward there. So I'm telling you this because there may be opportunity. We may get another drive down in this market. Okay, if you ask me, it's probably more likely that we will, but that's just my opinion. I'm hoping we don't. We just have a V-shaped bottom. Everything's great, but unfortunately, bear market bottoms are usually not made like this, but we'll see. Maybe this time it'll be different. But anyway, and there still may be some opportunity left in here. Let's put it back on real time now. I mean, honestly, a lot of these, I probably wouldn't jump in anything right now. SRG, I will say this, be careful of commercial real estate REITs, okay? Because I think after this scare that we've seen in the market, a lot of people are going to be working from home these days. So I would be skeptical of any of the commercial REITs. Sorry, Thomas. No, I'm kidding. Thomas is a friend of mine. He's in here, and he's in the commercial business. But you know, sooner or later the people will get back. Everything will be fine. This is probably going to turn out being just like the normal flu, and people will get their. You're welcome, Thomas. All right. So anyway, Jamie, if did I miss any questions out there? It looks like I'm all good.
I believe you are, sir.
I'll go ahead and share this one as well, in case somebody have not. This is a really good one. If you are so inclined to trade, you know, really beaten up stock, just remember you go in very tiny size. And I have this problem. Jamie has this problem. We all have this problem. We have a tendency sometimes to get too much size in the next thing. As a matter of fact, the first time I jumped in play, I got stopped out in a matter of probably 30 minutes. And I'm like, dang, Jamie and Jamie were laughing, and because it was a very small position. I thought it was a small position, but I got stopped out pretty quick. The thing dropped from like 525 all the way down to 465 in a matter of probably 30 minutes. But that's the kind of volatility we're in. So just remember, play tiny size, okay? That will keep your emotions away, and you can afford to, you know, stay in there until you're you know, a much bigger stop. In other words, stretch out your stops, pull back your size. Let me share this one. And there we go. And I think let me do it just one more time. I wasn't sure if I copied that one. And there is Armageddon as well in your chat panel. Okay, Rainer, did you want to ask a question there? The name of the software, David, is Trade Ideas. This is Trade Ideas. Oh, Upender, there's nothing wrong with ETFs. Okay, you can go in there and take out that filter. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the ETFs. I just took it out because I know some people don't like to trade them, but you can always go back in there and take out. There's nothing wrong. ETFs can be great to trade. Okay. Okay, you're welcome, Rainer. No problem. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the session for today. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for possible shorts tomorrow. And I got a BA running against me in after hours, huh? That must have been a Brad print. I'm not seeing that. No, it's just my alert window. It's not doing much. You know what? Predictions for tomorrow. I have no idea. You know, honestly, I have no idea. We've had a nice bounce. You know, we have a lot of work to do. And just in the back of my mind, I know how people think. So I'm going to be ready for some opportunity should we get you know, a downdraft tomorrow early. I have no idea if we're going to gap up, gap down. I have no idea. If we get above, you know, this level right here and the spies, man, that would be really impressive. Why is it not drawn? I lost my little thing. There it goes. You know, if we can somehow get above that 20 and then get above this little level right here, that would be really impressive. But we'll have to wait and see. He said, "Okay, just kidding." Yeah. I wish. Yeah, predictions for tomorrow. Yeah, that's. I wish I knew. We'd all be rich. All right, Jamie, I'm going to bring in Scott unless you have anything else to add.
Sounds good to me, Andy.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
Scott.
guys. Couple items to remind people of on the way out. We've got a daily support session every weekday at 12 Eastern. You can go there and ask all kinds of questions. We got the chat open. It's on our YouTube channel, trade-ideas.com/live. We'll take you there to forward right and join us if you got some questions tomorrow. We've got a new ebook out. It's about earnings season. It was written by our Chief Information Officer who designed Holly and the backtester and all that kind of lots of our technology. So you could take his word for it. Trade-ideas.com/earnings is the page to go to. It'll give you some ideas and a couple of strategies that you can use the cloud link to import that into your layout of Trade Ideas. We've got a podcast. Search for Trade Ideas Podcast in your favorite app to listen to the most recent episodes. And once you subscribe, you get alerted whenever we release another one. We've got a promo code, saves 15% off your first month or year of Trade Ideas, also off an upgrade from standard to premium. Prime time is the code. It's all caps because it's case sensitive. So write that down if you want to go ahead and either upgrade or subscribe. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. Our Steve Gomez is at Today Trader. We've also got at Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas Pro is the Facebook handle. And if you have any questions, the best thing to do is email us, info@trade-ideas.com. That goes directly into our help desk software and doesn't get lost. It gets routed to the appropriate team member to help you out. The recording will be up later on tonight or tomorrow morning. You'll get an email tomorrow from GoToWebinar with a link to the playlist where you can find it. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Andy. Have a good one.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.